Hey guys, welcome back to the Shop Vacs YouTube channel. For this video, we're going to take a little look at this DeWALT cordless / corded wet dry vac. Do a mini review, but also compare it to, I got this 4.5 horsepower shop vac there, and out in the garage I have a 6.5 horsepower shop vac. And I also want to compare it just to an ordinary household Hoover vacuum. We're going to check the vacuum, see how hard it sucks. And I got a sound meter. We're going to see which one's the loudest. While we're here, we can check with it being corded or on a battery and see if there's any difference, although I wouldn't expect that. So all the relevant links or anything you see here will be down below. But this is a DeWALT DCV581H wet dry vac. It can use either 18 volt or the 20 volt batteries. And as you can see, and we talked about, it does have a cord on it also. Has a HEPA rated filter, 3-year warranty. It comes with this little tool on the side. Comes with that tool molded in the side and a crevice tool in the handle there. It can suck or blow, and one thing I like is the position of the switch, so when you're carrying it, you can just flip it with the fingers, kind of nice. Well, let's see how it stacks up with some of these other shop vacs. So I got that little vacuum gauge there. I want to check the 4.5 peak horsepower shop vac first, and we're going to use a little rolled up pool noodle to test the vacuum. Now, as long as we do the same thing every time, the number doesn't matter as much as how it compares with the other vacs. So let's see what this one is. As you can see, we're just at 5, maybe a little over 5, but right in that general area there. Next, we got the regular household vacuum. It's a Hoover Nano, and we're just going to hook up to the port here. Alright, the Hoover Nano, that was a solid 6 right there. A little better than the 4.5 horsepower shop vac. Here's my 6.5 horsepower shop vac. We're going to check vacuum on that. Right between 4 and 5, we'll call it 4.5. Now we'll check the DeWALT. Just a hair under 4. Just a hair. Let's try it corded just for the giggles. Got it plugged in. Next, we're going to check everything all over again. This time we're going to use this little Tac Life sound meter to compare how loud each one is. Stop it. I think it's fair that we average that out at about 96 decibels, right? Sounds good to me. Next up is our Hoover Nano. Stop. I think 90 or 91 is pretty fair. Let's call it 91, but a little bit quieter. Alright, we got the 6.5 horsepower. I know we're out in the garage instead of in a room, and it's a little bit different, but look, we're not all that scientific. I think 89 decibels would be a fair reading for that one. We're going with 89. Last but not least, let's check out this DeWALT. My executive decision is 90. 90 decibels on the DeWALT. So now, what I want to do is I want to run this thing and see how long it lasts. You can see I have a 5 amp hour battery on there. I mean, you can't tell that's what it is, but I'm just going to tell you it is. And I have a freshly charged 5 amp hour battery. Now I know if you were actually using this thing, you'd use it for a couple of minutes, then turn it off, then use it for a couple of minutes, turn it off. I don't have any idea how long it's going to last on this 5 amp hour battery. Let's see, fully charged. But I'll do like 10-minute increments. I'm going to vacuum some crap up around the house, vacuum out my truck, and I'll come back and let you guys know about what the runtime is using a 5 amp hour battery. Well, there's your results, guys. 34 minutes, 13 seconds of pretty much continuous use. Turned it off a few times, but I was using the stopwatch so I could start and stop, and that was actually longer than I expected it to go. And it wasn't just idling, I was actually vacuuming things. That was definitely the longest I've ever vacuumed anything in my life, maybe collectively. So let's go back and look at our results and make a few observations. Here are our results of the different vacuums. Each one has its own wheelhouse of what it was designed to do. The DeWALT was the weakest as far as its sucking power, but it's meant to be portable, it's meant to be easy to use, it's cordless. They wanted to make it lightweight, so you can pick it up and everything. So it's not meant to be the strongest thing out there. I was kind of, I guess, a little surprised that the Hoover Nano, just the house vacuum, was the strongest of all of them. But then again, that has its downfall too. If you have like a bunch of water, it's not a wet dry vac, so obviously you could do harm to it if you used it inappropriately. The 6.5 horsepower, I was surprised with it being a higher horsepower that it wasn't stronger than the 4.5 horsepower, and I'm not smart enough to know how the bigger hose on that thing would affect how much suction it has. Maybe that makes it decline. I did take the air filters out of everything except for the Hoover, because I didn't care too much about it. That was just kind of a throw-in. But I took the air filters off of everything because I thought maybe that would restrict things a little bit. And of course it wasn't perfect, because if I didn't have a really good seal on the hose, or if the hose itself is leaking somewhere, then that could cause a problem. But just for a basic test, I think it worked out pretty well. And as far as how loud each one was, you had pretty much all the same, except for that 4.5 horsepower Shop Vac was by far the loudest. The other ones, and we're just kind of guessing at an average. You saw how fast the meter was running. I ran each one for about a minute. I figured no one wants to sit around for a minute and watch each one of them, but it was the loudest. But for your money, that 4.5 horsepower one is probably the best. It's small, kind of more lightweight and portable. It had pretty good suction power, but it was just a little bit louder. The DeWALT, look, it's expensive. If it was your only Shop Vac you were going to own, I would say get that 4.5 horsepower one, because it's kind of the best of both worlds. But if it's a second Shop Vac, or something that you need to be more portable, the DeWALT one certainly is serviceable. It'll work for what you need. And I was surprised with the 5 amp hour battery working for over 30 minutes, because most people aren't going to use it continuously. You're going to clean up a little mess that's like 2 or 3 minutes of using it. Then you're going to turn it off and, come back later. So for like a work day, that would last a really long time on one 5 amp hour battery. So hopefully you guys got something out of that. Make sure to give the video a like, subscribe for a subscriber, and I'll see you guys next time.